Okay, I'm getting ready to help bleed the brakes on this beautiful Mercedes Benz here, and taking the lug nuts off, lug bolts off with a T-bar. We're gonna bleed these brakes here. We're making a makeshift siphon. You can buy these at the auto parts store, but first thing I'm gonna do is I got a hose that came with it. I got a reducer at the hardware store and one that fits the little piece on the brake here, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Right here there's a little piece that we're going to hook that onto. But before we do that, we're going to make sure that there's no air bubbles to start with in our siphon. You can call it a vacuum or a siphon. See, there's a little bit, so I'm going to fill this up by just pulling that into my cylinder here. Can't have too much in it. And then now it's just like a syringe. You want to make sure there's no air to start with. So there we go. And now I'm going to hook this up to the bottom down here. Right here, I'm going to push it on. Take a look here. Just maybe you didn't see where I pushed it on. And now I'm going to have the mechanic pump 5 times. Go ahead and pump the brakes 5 times. These are power brakes, ABS, and then what we're doing is we've got the motor running. That's why I'm talking louder over this now. He's got it. You're holding it down, mechanic? I'm going to open up this, and I'm going to pull as much air out of the system that I can. And right now I'm not getting any air out, so we're doing really great. Okay, and then I'm going to close it off again. And I'm going to ask the mechanic to go ahead and pump 5 more times, please. And he has to hold the pedal down. And I'm going to open it up again to see if any air bubbles are going to come in this tube here. Ready? Here we go. You guys see that air coming out? Not very much. And then I'm gonna siphon up everything I can. Shut it again. Now watch the process. I popped it. You can stop there. Look, I'm gonna pop this off. I'm gonna make sure that I push this handle back down again. You can see I'm pushing the handle down. And I'm gonna fill that up. I'm going to hook it up again. I'm keeping my thumb on there not to lose any liquid out of my siphon. And this time he's going to do it with the motor off. Go ahead and pump 5 times. Ready?
Yep. And
he's holding the pedal down. We don't want any air to... See that air that just came through there? That's what we're looking for. And I'm trying to pull fluid through.
I can tell it's getting fixed.
Like this. Okay, there's one air bubble that came out, and lock it up again. Now I'd like to see if the reservoir has gone down in the very front of this car. There's a reservoir here. You see the cap here to the brakes. Take a look inside there. And yeah, it's gone down a little bit. I'm going to top that off with fluid right now.
Do that.
To the point where I can see it. Okay, I try not to get it in the motor because later on you'll think there's something wrong. I like to fill it right up to the top. That way I know if it's gone down. You got to make sure you don't get anything on this. I'm going to leave it off while I pump the brakes again. Okay, now I've got too much brake fluid in my master cylinder, and I'm going to use this siphon to pull some of that off before I put the cap back on, just a little bit there. Now I'm going to put the cap filter back on. This is a filter only a high-class car like a Mercedes Benz would have, and then here's the cap. I know my truck does not have the filter. The brake fluid level was full to the top when I was doing the brakes, and that way I was able to gauge if it was going down or not.